All right, guys, what is going on? We are back with the S6 after like 3 months of not making any updates, but I do have a lot of stuff I want to get done today that's going to be further progress of getting this on the road. I'd like to, I know it's a stretch, but I would really like to have this thing at least on the first start, like just to start it up and make sure everything's going good by like 2 weeks from now is what I'm shooting for. So just to run through some of the stuff that I got and we're going to be working on today. I'm going to pull it all on the floor here. All right, first thing I want to get accomplished today is getting this thing put on. This is the beautiful 034 Motorsport lightweight flywheel. I believe this thing weighs in rated around like 12 pounds. So I think the factory one is right around like 24. So this is technically for a B5 S4, but it's going to mate up to the 4.2 perfectly. And then to match this, we got this is the B7 RS4 clutch kit. So this is, from a stock perspective, the highest clamping force setup you can get to run with the B5 flywheel. So that is going to be awesome. It's OEM luck, so it should run perfectly. So there's that. We have that, and that's going to come with like the pilot bearing, throwout bearing, all that stuff. So big part update there. And then we also got 2 right and left drive shafts. So that's pretty much everything to go along with the 01E transmission. And yeah, this is going to be great. I'm really excited to get this thing mounted up. I still need to get the bolts to go into the bell housing, the mount up on there, because I want to get new ones so we can torque them down real good and not have to worry about anything like that. So first things first, I think it's finally time that we pull the engine off the engine stand with the engine hoist, and we're going to get it lowered down onto like a tire or something. So because you can't really work on flywheel type stuff with all of that bolted onto the back. So let's get the engine on the ground for the first time, and we'll start moving on some of these manual transmission parts. So it's gonna be a pretty good video.
Yo, 14, you got another one.
All right, guys, so we have separated the engine from the hoist. Now I'm just gonna come down here. I already started to wiggle this off. This spacer here is for automatic transmissions only. I'm not really sure. I think it just keeps the plate that hooks onto the torque converter on the transmission. So I already kind of wiggled it off. It just, yep, there it goes. Just completely pops off. So this, not needed for this installation. But there it is. Basically, now there's literally no difference between this engine being ready for a manual transmission or an automatic. So we need to get the pilot bearing put in there, and then it's time to bolt up the flywheel. So let's get to it. All right, so I believe the pilot bearing, yep, there it is. That will come in the clutch kit. There that is. So let me bring this over here. Get this out of the package real quick. All right, guys, so I already messed up. Upon doing a little bit more research, the pilot bearing does not go directly in the crank like some of my similar Volkswagen Audi cars. It's actually supposed to go in the flywheel. So I had already got this pressed in there, and I had to use a bunch of tools. You see we got the bread out, and this thing is now caked in bread. And all banged up from getting it back out of the crank there. So we're gonna have to order a new one of those, but I think we should still be able to put the flywheel on there, get everything mocked up and see how it looks. So I'm gonna pull the flywheel over here and we'll start getting that put on. All right, guys, so there it is again. Just, take another look. Beautiful flywheel, 034 Motorsports. But we have the attached hardware here. So I can't really do this with one hand. I probably can't even do it with 2 hands. But I'm gonna get it placed on there and get a few of the bolts threaded in, and then we'll take a look at what it looks like on the car. is the 034. I don't actually know how to say it. 034, 034. Somebody correct me in the comments, but wow, it looks great. There's like, when you're looking at like some of the points on here with clearance, like we're talking like hardly any. Once we get the timing and everything finished, it'll be very interesting to see how this thing rotates. But yeah, I'm gonna need to order a new pilot bearing, but the pilot bearing actually is gonna get pressed into the flywheel here. So I'm going to torque down these bolts to necessary torque. I don't know off the top of my head. But yeah, then we'll kind of just have to let that sit. I'm not gonna put the clutch or the pressure plate on until I get that. So once we get that done, then we can kind of move to the front of the engine and get all this timing put back together. And then we can kind of see what we're working with back here, if it's going to move freely. If not, I don't know. Some people say there's some spots you need to file down just to make sure. I definitely think probably right here. Like if you're looking at it right here, it looks like it's pressed up right into it, but there is a little bit of space. Believe it or not, you can see right there. But yeah, let's see what we can do. All right, guys, so we got all of these bolts torqued to spec. It's 40 for, if you want the knowledge, 44 foot-pounds and then 180 degrees. So what I did was I just did 44 off, and then I did 90 on each and then another 90 on each. So that should be good. It was a lot of force put on there, but brand new bolts, hardware, everything should be fine. I think I'm gonna get the timing put back together. I'll probably do that off camera because you guys have seen the video where I did the timing already, but then I'll rotate it. But other than that, can't really do much work on the engine just because we're gonna need to get another pilot bearing. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna order the pilot bearing, the bolts for the bell housing. There's a lot of other stuff that still needs ordered, but everything that I'll need to get the entire clutch and pressure plate put onto the flywheel, and then we should be good to slide the transmission on. As far as the transmission goes, we still need the back cover for the center diff, and then we still need a shifter for this. And then I've been debating about redoing the bushings on the shifter linkage just because this transmission is older. It's got a good bit of miles on it. Just to keep that fresh, I think that would be good. And then obviously we'll need to fill the transmission up with gear oil, but that would be next. So I think next video on the S6, we should have new pilot bearing, bolts to get everything put back together. There's already a throwout bearing. So theoretically, we should be able to get the entire transmission mated to the vehicle within the next video. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then really the only thing that's left to do actually in the car will just be getting the pedals put back together, getting the wiring all put back together for the clutch pedal. There's a few sensors that need wired. That'll be a whole video in itself. But other than that, everything is going to be ready to go back together back in the car. I know this this project has been a long time coming, but I'm definitely starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. There's really no more big expensive parts that are going to need to be bought for the engine, the transmission, just a couple odds and ends, and we should be able to get a first start, which is going to be great. So yeah, if you guys made it far in this video, make sure to click subscribe. We're literally at 350 subscribers. I think the last video I posted, we were just at 300. So things are really starting to boom, which is awesome. You guys have been loving the videos, which is great. So yeah, if you guys want to slap the like button, slap the subscribe button. See you guys next Sunday.